Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today I'm going to add a laser to my sawmill. In the lead up to getting this mill, I saw a few other people on YouTube that had lasers mounted on their mills. And I thought, is that something I need? And I thought, nah, it's probably overkill. I don't need that. But the more I have it and the more I use it, the more I realize it really would be handy to have a laser mounted on here. And all that's really going to do is establish a reference point between the height of your blade and where that's going to hit all the way down the log. And why do we need that? Well, what I find, my experience is that every log is different shaped. Some of them have a lot of taper, and some of them have knots on them, or they've got a bow, or whatever the case may be. And I'm trying to figure out exactly where to make that first cut on each side to have the least amount of waste possible. You cut too much and you're wasting. You don't cut enough, you have to make a second cut, which dulls your blade, wastes your time. It's just not ideal. The best scenario is to know exactly where that blade is going to hit at every point as you go down the log. Now I'm in a position the same as you guys are, that I had the opportunity to watch other people's setups before doing my own. I like to watch a channel called Sawing with Sandy, and he's been using this exact same laser for over a year, maybe 2 years now, and he's mounted it in several different ways and experimented with it. He now has one on each side, and he's ran them back to the battery, and it's a nice setup. But I think I'm just going to put one on one side for now, but I'm going to use the exact same laser and the same bracket and everything that he did. So all of these products are from Apinex or Apinex, however you pronounce it. And they make really high quality lasers for this type of application. This is not just something cheap that's not going to last. Like I said, Sandy's been using one of these on his for a couple years now. They hold up good. And when I say they're not cheap, this is like $130, something like that. But I'll put a link in the description. I'm not sponsored by this company. I don't make any money off of it. But if you want the same laser I have, I'll put a link in the description where you can get it. And what I've got is a 3-piece setup here. We have a bracket, a laser, and an on-off switch with batteries in it. So let's go ahead and get this thing lined up, get it mounted, and see how it works. There's only one thing about this install that's tricky at all, and that's getting the mounting bracket for the laser mounted at the same height as the blade. First thing I'm going to do is set the blade height to the top of this log, and then I'll be able to check my work by seeing if the laser hits the top corner of this all the way down. Okay, by running the blade all the way down that and seeing that it was just skimming it, I think it's very, very close to flat and close enough that we should get an accurate measurement here. I think the next thing we need to do is get this plugged in and just eyeball about where it's going to be, and then we'll refine that as we go. Probably take some measurements off the height difference between the blade and the mounting point. Now this needs to shoot across it and hit the log down here and down there. So the angle we're going to set at is maybe about a 45, but this is adjustable too. I think I'll go ahead and attach this battery and controller pack. It's got screws where you can screw it down, and I might do that in the future. But I think for right now I'm going to go simple as possible, and I'm going to take this magnet tape. I'm going to put the adhesive on the switch and the magnet on the machine and just see how that works. Okay. Oh, we stuck our magnet on here. Okay, so that shows you what the line looks like. It's nice and dark, easy to see. Nice and bright, however you want to say it. kind of having a hard time getting the laser and the bracket and everything held still just right, and then tightening the set screw on the laser because everything's still moving. So I've sighted in where I think the bracket needs to be. I'm going to use one self-tapping screw and see if I can get the bracket held in place, and maybe that'll make it easier. So this bracket has slots, it has a hole in the center, and it has an arch where you could pivot it. I just put the hole in the center. So I've got a height established, but I can still pivot the whole bracket to work on getting this laser completely flat across the length of the log. Okay. I don't know what the lighting is like in here, but I can see it right there. We're about 1/8 of an inch, or maybe a 1/16 down onto the board, all the way. Okay, if I can just tweak it up just a hair. I think I've got that perfect and locked down, and I want to make a cut to see if it's working. So I need to put something up here to cut. The magnetic tape was not strong enough to hold that switch in place, so I went ahead and used a self-tapping screw and just screwed that right above the laser. So for the sake of this video, I really hope you can see the laser line, but in case you can't see that on video, I'm putting a marker line just a hair below the laser. I actually put 3 lines. Just in case it cuts way off, we'll know how far off it was. My level was completely flat and level because I got the same measurement on each side, but I was actually cutting about 3/8 of an inch higher than I thought I was. So I've tweaked it just a little bit, and I'm going to try to put my laser back on the same marks and see if we get an accurate cut this time. I can see the green on top of the board right here. So my laser is just about perfect right now. Maybe, no, I don't think it needs moved at all. That laser's level and perfect. So what are my thoughts on this laser? Well, I know that it's durable, because that, like I said at the beginning, Sawing with Sandy has been using this exact same one for a long time. Is it accurate? Yeah, it seems to really work well. What about the setup? It was a little bit annoying actually, but I don't know how it wouldn't be, because you've got a couple different planes you're adjusting here, and I didn't have a good way to get a reference point. But all in all, I'd spent about 30 minutes just sitting there tweaking it, tighten it down. Oh, it moved a little bit, tweak it again, now it's too high. And it was a little bit of a hassle, but should be set it and forget it, because I've locked everything down pretty tight here. The bracket is fairly heavy duty. I don't think it's going to bend unless I actually hit it with something. If you hit it with something, you're going to have to do that again. But the location of it, it's not sticking out anywhere. It should get hit this way. There's no reason I should be hitting anything this way. I think this is a good improvement to the mill. So if you want one, check the link in the description. I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.